Hey everybody, it's Jesse, and today I'm just trying to get more done. A lot of the same thing as yesterday, but I did notice as I was going back through a lot of these components that they could use with a little bit of refactoring. So there are some changes that we made to components later on that were beneficial that I never went back and made those same changes to some of the components that were made earlier. So I'm going to go through, and I was just adding an image in here, just putting in some content to test out a new component I just made. So I'll show you the component in a second. And let me check the I'm gonna check the live chat. Here we go. I lost my window for the live chat. So hey everyone. Harry asks, what is React? React is like a JavaScript framework. It lets you build web apps, and you can build other things with it too, but it would be hard to sum up on a video, but just the very short answer is it's a JavaScript framework, and it lets you build websites, web apps, and actually you can even build mobile apps and desktop apps, so very versatile. And actually I think I saw a talk at a conference, a recorded talk on YouTube about using React to build VR things, which is really cool. I don't really know how to do that, but I know people are doing it. So hey everyone. Alright, so I see. Alright, so we got a bunch of people in the chat now. And hey Thor, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while. Alright, Fernando from Argentina. Hey, thanks for watching from Argentina. Actually, there's a conference coming up in Argentina that I'm going to submit a talk for. So actually, I filled out everything I needed to submit it, and then I got to the end, and it asked for a video explaining, a few minutes just explaining more about the talk. And I couldn't do the video at the time because it was up late. All my kids were sleeping. I didn't want to wake them up by making a video, so hopefully I'll get some time to make that video and I can apply. It would be really cool. I've never been to Argentina before. We have someone in the live chat whose name is Ann Solo, so like Han Solo but without the H, and their avatar is a picture of Han Solo, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so I got some questions in the live chat. I guess I'll just answer them now before we get started with some of the code. And I'll throw some code up on the screen just so you can see what I've been working on. This is the new component on this side, and it's doing a lot of stuff. I did push this up to GitHub, so if you want to check out the code in more depth, it's on the dev branch on GitHub. But let me just check out a few questions. Avik asks, how will I load data in page load in React Redux? I actually haven't used Redux for anything, so I can't be of much help to you. I'm taking a course right now and I'm going to learn more about Redux, so maybe in another month or two I'll be able to answer that question, but right now I'm just not experienced with it. So I know how to load data on page load without Redux, and actually you can see we'll be doing some of that probably during today's stream. So I don't know if that'll be helpful to you, but if so, you stick around. Wow, Patrick said there's even a way to develop command line interfaces with React. That's really cool. I didn't realize that. EK Howard asks, I'm attending a coding boot camp and I have to choose between React and Rails. Which one? Well, it kind of depends on what you want to do, but I'm partial to React since I'm using it on a project now, and React seems to be growing and there's a lot of jobs for React. I don't know the numbers officially on Rails jobs versus React jobs, but it seems like the momentum right now is at least with React. So if your goal is to try to be marketable, then React's a really good skill to pick up. You can build a lot of stuff with it. I don't have any experience at all in working with Rails, so I can't really give you great advice since I only know about React. But actually, correct me if I'm wrong, would Rails be more back-end? Isn't that Ruby, right? And React would not normally be a back-end type of thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, I don't know very much at all about Rails, so definitely don't take my word for it. Okay, so it looks like, okay, I was right. So Rails is backend. So there you go. So that's probably the best criteria is, would you rather learn front-end stuff or back-end? So I guess it would depend on your goals. Like, do you want to be a back-end programmer or full stack, or do you want to stick with front-end? So that's what I would say. I would also say too, if you're going to do the React boot camp, then your JavaScript skills will get a lot better, and that can translate into a lot of different things, not just React. So I know my JavaScript skills have gotten way better since I started doing things with React, whereas before I was doing a lot of things with jQuery, which jQuery is nice, especially when you're starting out, but if you want to be able to easily switch between different JavaScript frameworks, knowing basic JavaScript is the best thing. So it has really helped me. Okay. All right. So I think I got all the initial questions here in the live chat. So yesterday I tried out a new system here where I used a Pomodoro Timer to remind me to check the live chat and then also remind me to stop talking and do some more code. So I'm going to do that again today. I'm going to start it as soon as I kind of catch you all up on what I've been doing. Also, I did a stream earlier today on my own channel. So I had a suggestion, so Xana, who's not in the live chat, yeah, I don't see her in the live chat, so maybe she's not watching right now, but she had this suggestion to do just streams where I didn't have to worry about doing commentary or anything, but I would just show what's on my screen and what I'm working on. I had never thought about doing that before, so I thought it was worth a shot, and so I did. So earlier today, for about an hour, I just showed what was on my screen. I did it on my own YouTube channel because I wasn't sure. I mean, when I was invited to do the channel on the show on freeCodeCamp, it was based on what I normally do, which is a commentary, question and answer, that kind of thing. So I didn't want to just switch things up and start broadcasting on freeCodeCamp without, kind of checking with them first. So it was a little bit spur of the moment. So that's why I just put it on my own channel. So if you're interested and want to check it out, there is a recording of it. I think I'm going to call the series Quiet Coding. So I'll probably have like a playlist on my channel about all my quiet coding stuff. So earlier I was just doing a lot of like refactoring of React stuff, pulling in data from the WordPress API, a lot of the same stuff I was doing yesterday. So I kind of like doing it. I just had my my microphone muted, so I didn't really have to worry if somebody came in my office or I had to take a phone call or something. I could just do it, and it wasn't really a big deal. So not sure if anybody's interested, but just wanted to let you know, since you all gave me the idea for it, I want to let you know that I did try it out. And I'm just trying to think if there's any other big things that happened between yesterday and today, and I don't really think so. So I'll show you what I'm working on right now. I'm just going to kind of continue on. Oops, let me start my timer here. So I was continuing to try to pull in all the data from WordPress into our React site, or at least as much as I possibly could, so that it can be editable within WordPress and nobody has to touch the code. So I went through let me pull the site over here. So I went through some of the pages. So I finished, we had done the About page already yesterday. So I went through the Team page, and then now I'm on the Courses page, and I'm just pulling in the data. So what I did have to do on this Courses page is make some custom post types. So this section and this section, these are just normal like pages within WordPress, so exactly the same as we had been doing yesterday with some things. This little section here is just a page, but when we get down to here, this now is a custom post type. So before, the click handler was actually changing a CSS property to show and hide this. Now it's not. The click handler is changing the state, and I'll show you in a second, and it's showing or hiding based on that data, based on that. So it's re-rendering the component. So if that doesn't make sense now, it'll make sense in a second when I show you the code. So these sections, and I guess I have the live site over. Let me bring this over to show you what it did look like. So these sections have images and they have these links. These sections don't. They're just text. But they're similar enough that I thought it's worth a try to make one component that could handle all these variations depending on what data gets passed in. So that was the goal. I wanted one component for all of these things, and potentially, I suppose, the same component could be used elsewhere if we ever add pages on. So here's what I came up with. So I made a component called expanding section, and it has its own state, and it's simply just display content true or false. So really easy. But then I have all these not really if statements properly. It's the ternary operators, but basically I'm checking to see if data is there. So the first thing I check for, so every section is going to start out and be wrapped in this subsection div, right? But the first thing I do right off the bat is check if there's an image. So if someone in WordPress has uploaded a featured image to that post, then it's going to render this, okay, which is the template that handles images. Also, once we get down to here, so you see from this part here just handles that first part, this this title. Once we get down to here, this is where we show or hide based on our state. So if state is true, then we show this part. Within this part, I also have a section for this link. So we're using that outlink component that helps us track. So if you remember, we were using React, what was it? React GA, so the Google Analytics plugin for React, and there was a problem with it in that it didn't really work properly if you wanted to set target blank to the link. So we made our own kind of wrapper element, and it fixed that problem. And that was the show whenever we actually submitted the pull request, which I've never heard back about that. So not sure really what happened. Maybe that project isn't really being maintained. I don't know. I never checked on it. Maybe I'll ask about it if I get a chance. It's possible that I didn't properly follow the rules for testing. So it's possible that maybe when they saw that, they just didn't even look at it, but we'll see. I think it's worth checking up on again because there are other people that had a similar issue, so this could be helpful. But anyway, if there is a URL added in to our custom post type, which I thought I had it on the screen, maybe I moved it over. Oh yeah, I did. So we can see like the URL here. So if a URL is entered, then this button gets rendered. Otherwise it doesn't. So the other variation then is, and then of course it displays our image here. The other variation is just the text with or without the link. Okay, so there are potentially right now 4 variations that could happen on this component. So we could have image, text, and a link. We could just have text and image. We can just have text, or we could have text with a link. I'd like to add one more variation because right now we alternate. So I need one more variation to just flip these and alternate. So this isn't going to be something that the content manager from WordPress picks. I could make it another field to set whether it's right or left, but I don't really think that that's important. It's possible maybe that they would want to do it, but in general these type of sections look better if it does alternate. So I think I'm just going to make it so that it always alternates and that can't be changed, and I'm more comfortable with that. Then that way I don't have to rely on whoever is changing the content to realize that it looks better, alternated. So that's one less thing for them to worry about, and it'll keep the same look that we wanted with this alternating thing here. This woman here actually works at Franciscan. She's super nice. Every website I do, she always says it's really great, and she loves everything I do. So anyway, most of these pictures in here, these aren't like stock photos. These are real people from the university, which is cool, because normally I work a lot with stock photos. This is actually a chapel that's on campus. It's a replica of one in Italy. So anyway, a little side note. Alright, so that's it. So to finish up this component, we just want to make these alternate. So the good thing is we don't have to make a whole another section where we change the HTML. At least I don't think we do. I'm pretty sure that I can just change. Let me see how I did it. Because I did use some order 1, order 2. The way I laid out this grid with the CSS, I made some custom classes that can change the order of where these things are. So I'm hoping that that's all I'll need to change. If I can't exactly remember how I set this up, because I set it up months and months ago on a different project and I just carried it over. But if it doesn't work like I want it to, then I can just make this component a bit bigger and copy and paste everything over, and then we'll figure it out. But for right now, I think it'll be okay. We just need to check out. So I guess the easiest way to test this would be, I'm going to go here. We can see now for this one we have text on left, image on right. So what I want to do is change. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to give it a shot though. I'm going to change this order. I think my order CSS might only work on small screen, now that I think about it. Yeah, it does. Okay. I think I have it so that it only works on small screens right now, so that the image always ends up being on top. So let me just make sure that's still working like that. Yeah, there we go. So this only goes like that. Alright, so the solution then, I assume that this is like I'm using a media query to make it so that that only applies here. I'm trying to think of what the best way to make this happen would be. Alright, I can put off thinking about it for just a second, because what we need to do anyway is we need to figure out which basically whether it's odd or even number. Alright, so, and this is not hard, and we're probably going to need to do it here when we actually, I'm sorry, not, where am I? Here we go. So when we actually set up and start going through this component, this is where we need to do it. So we need to get the index number and then pass it, we'll pass it as a prop. I think that's the best way. Alright. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about right now, it'll be obvious in a second when I actually do it. So what I need to do now is get the index number, and I'm wondering, I don't know if I have to put a bracket there now. I'm going to try it without the bracket. Hopefully I can do it, otherwise I'll put a bracket in. And now I need to put index equals I. And then let me save that and find out. Okay, no errors. That's good. And did it render? Yeah, it's still rendered. Okay, great. So we're going to grab the index. We're going to pass it as a prop to our component. Now, within our component, let's I'm wondering if I ought to put something in state. basically all I need to do is be able to tell if this is odd or an even number. I don't think there's necessarily any value in putting that in state. We're never going to have a need to change that after the fact. Alright, so I think we can change this. I don't really need to do anything else with this index, so let's change it here. Might be easier. No, we'll leave it here, and then we won't have to rewrite a lot of this logic. And really, I don't know if we'll do it. It might just be a little nitpicky to do this right now, but really I should probably put as much of the logic that's going on here into the component to make it easier to put things in, but some of it I think I actually do have to do here to avoid getting some error messages. But for now, let's move this in here and just say, let's just say is even. I don't know that I even really need to make a component for this, or I mean it's like a separate function. I could probably do it inline, but I'll just do it here. That's the right syntax, right? I don't know why I write this so often. I don't know why I'm second guessing it, but I guess it's like when you look at a word that you spelled a million times and it just looks weird to you all of a sudden, like you spelled it wrong. So let's say index this props index, and we're going to say, whoops, is if it equals, I always forget, I always have to double check what the correct what the true and false values are for the answers. So so what is it, like if it's 2 modulo the modulus operator and 2, we get 0. Say if it's 3, on my other screen I'm just doing a little bit of math. Okay, so that's how it is. So what we want, so if it equals 0, then we're going to return true because it is even. Otherwise, oh yeah, that's right. That makes sense. I can't believe I had to do the math to figure that out, but sometimes it's just easier to just do the math. Make sure, okay, that is going to come through as a number. Alright, so basically what this is doing, if you're not familiar with this operator, what this does is give you the remainder of what's left over once, if you were to divide this number, which is our index number, by 2, it'll give you the remainder. So if it's divisible by 2, we will have no remainder, which is why we'll have 0. If it's not divisible by 2, we will have a remainder. So that's where all this is coming from. And I don't know why I'm getting such weird syntax highlighting. Did I do something wrong? So I want to check my time here and make sure I do check the live chat. Oh, okay. I'm glad I checked the live chat because Umberto has just told me correctly that why do I need the true or false? Couldn't I just do this and it would return true or false? Humberto, you are correct. And also, who else? Pedro gave that answer as well. And I messed up the arrow function. Thanks, Patrick. Goodness. Alright, so this is a lot better now. Oh, hey, Xana's here now. Xana, were you here earlier when I was talking about doing the stream earlier based on your idea from like yesterday, or maybe it was 2 days ago? If not, I'll say it again really quickly. All right, in the live chat, I'm just going to read through a bit since I've already kind of paused a bit here. John Hansen says, I sort of knew a bit of jQuery for about a year, then halfway through a project I taught myself regular JavaScript. Not bad for 60, never too late to learn. Yeah, that's awesome. Actually, I think I mentioned this before, but my dad is 57, I think, and he's going to retire this year, and I'm trying to convince him to learn a little bit of front-end development. And so I'll have to tell him that that it's not too late to learn. Andrew has a question: how to avoid re-rendering all React app when state change and rendering only children? And then there's some clarification. Nicola's asking, what kind of state are you talking about? Component internal state or something like Redux? Andrew says, talking about big app state, want to do it without Redux or Flux, or set state as simple member and pass as props to children. Okay, so Nicola says any component that has its props changed will re-render itself, meaning if your top component's props or state changes, everything underneath it will re-render. Okay. Yeah, so I would say, without seeing the code, Andrew, yeah, if you could keep, if it's possible to have, like, keep some state, within a component, that would reduce re-rendering everything, if you could. I'm not really sure. I don't know that I can give you a great answer. If it's possible for you to, like, link to a GitHub repo or something, you can like send me a direct message on Twitter or something like that with the link if you don't want to link it in the live chat, and then I could try to check it out when I get a chance. Gunner says, hey Jesse. Hey Gunner, how's it going? Thanks for watching. Okay, John Hansen says, Flexbox added a class that can easily change the DOM order, flex direction, row, or row reverse. So you may not get the toggle left-right if the viewer skips one heading. Alright, we'll have to check. I'll have to check that out. As soon as I get this basically the next step will be whether I want to handle this like with CSS or whether I want to actually make another component. So Xana, I just looked at the link that you posted that had pictures of dogs with squishy cheeks, so that's pretty cool. Made me smile. So here's some examples here for you all that are watching. Let me see. Alright, so we had Cathal asks, what theme do you use for Adam? I use the SETI theme, S-E-T-I. Oh, no. Sebastian's already answered that. So I do that all the time. You think I would have learned by now to read the next few comments before I answer. Yeah, now I can see that everybody noticed that I messed up my arrow function before I noticed. Yeah, so this is a Pomodoro. So I had a question here in the live chat about the Pomodoro. Yeah, so this is a Pomodoro timer. So what I'm going to do is use this. I use it all the time when I work, but I'm going to use it during the live streams now to give me a better idea of just the time when I'm working, and also, you know, every time the timer goes off, I will remind me to check the live chat. And then after the 5 minutes is up, it'll remind me to go back to coding. So I broke off from that a little bit early this time because I suspected that I was doing something wrong anyway, so I figured you all would have caught it. Let's see. Okay, Nicholas, is there a reason you're not setting your initial component state inside the constructor? So I'm not sure. Are you talking about this component here? So I'll wait. There's a little bit of delay. I'll wait. So Nicola, let me know if I'm in the right spot there. Also, anyway, Xana, I think I had asked if you had heard what I said earlier, but then I didn't see whether or not you answered me. There's a lot of stuff going on, so I'll just say it. So you had the idea a couple days ago of me just doing like a quiet stream with, I didn't do any commentary, but I just would do my work and you could watch the screen. So I actually did that this morning on my own YouTube channel for about an hour, and I think it worked out pretty well. I didn't have that many people watch it, but that was okay because I really, like, I couldn't handle if people were asking questions and stuff because I was just trying to get the work done. So anyway, I think I'll do that more frequently. I think that was actually a good idea, and I was able to keep my normal workflow and my normal pace. It didn't really bother me knowing that the screen was being recorded. So that was a really good idea. And I'll do those on my YouTube channel, not on FreeCodeCamp, unless like someone from FreeCodeCamp asks me and says they really want me to do that. But otherwise, I'm just going to keep doing this kind of stream for FreeCodeCamp, and then I'll do the quiet stream on my own channel. Oh, okay, Nick. All right, that makes a lot more sense now. I was wondering. So anyway, Nicola's question about the constructor was because he was just joining, didn't realize that the component, or I'm sorry, that the entire thing was done in Next.js. So let's see. All right, I think I got through all the questions. Oh, okay. I see. Sebastian had me copy and paste something, but now I see. I'm gonna avoid the potential copy and paste like invisible character errors going on here. So I think this is exactly what you had. So is even equals arrow this props index module 2 equals 0. Okay, so that's cool. Thanks, Sebastian. It's always crazy. It like never fails that things that you do frequently that work when you're not being watched, somehow you seem to mess up when you are watched. So anyway, that's just the way it is. Alright, so we have this now. So now we know whether or not this particular instance of that component is even or odd. And okay, there's my timer. So I will say too, I have a few things that are like not coding related that I do need to get done before I leave, and I have a meeting at 5. So I need to make sure that I have enough time before then to do this stuff. So actually one of the things I need to get done I can probably do on the stream. So I'm just telling you all mostly so that I hear myself say it and I don't forget, but maybe if one of you also remember, you can remind me if I forget towards the end of the stream. So I need to make sure that I actually change the link. So tomorrow the site is going live that this one links to. So I think I have it up here somewhere. Oh, it doesn't really matter. So the learning management system that this site needs to link to is going to be live tomorrow. It's already live right now. I don't know if you can log in or sign up for courses yet, but at least the home page works. So I'm just going to link to it today so I don't have to work on it tomorrow. So I need to do that before I leave. So I needed to switch to the master branch, add the link in the proper place, and then push the code to both of our servers and make sure it works before I leave today. The other thing I have to do is get some data to the head of my department so that she can use it for a meeting that she has on Monday, which I won't be here on Monday. I'm going to take my kids to an amusement park, and so no stream on Monday, but I will be back Tuesday. Alright, so having gotten that out of the way, let's sort this out now. So let's see. At this point, I kind of just want to just take this section, because that's all I would really need, right? Just this section, and just say, like, you know, if it's even, do it this way. If it's odd, do it that way. So I will just copy and paste this, which kind of stinks because I don't like to repeat it's so much the same stuff, but I know, like John said, that you can do this with Flexbox, but since I haven't done stuff with Flexbox like that, at least for a while, it'll be faster for me to just switch it around. So let me do that now. So this state display content. So if we are displaying content and let's say n is even. I'll probably need to do this is even, right? This is even. Then we want to do it this way. Yeah, we want the first one to be like this. So, because the first one will be 0, so that'll give us a 0. So that'll register as even. Okay. And then oh no, I can't. I don't want to do it like that. I'm sure you all realized my mistake. So no, because I want it to either display or not display. So what I want to do is make another one inside of this one. So I always want the image to have order 1. So I'm going to go through. I don't know if this will give me an error or not, but it won't take me that long to try it. So might as well try it. If is even. Do this. Else. Why did I just copy that again? That was silly. Also, I'm going to do this, and then I'll simply flip this around. This looks really ugly now, but it'll all get auto-formatted in a minute. Oh, that looks so terrible. And I need. I just want to. There you go. Okay. That. Based on the highlighting, this is looking weird. I'm not sure it'll work, but yeah, it doesn't work. Okay, so it's just wrapped in a closing tag. Oh yeah, I need. I don't know that that's gonna work. Alright, I'm gonna check the live chat. So I'm sure you all have been giving me advice while I'm doing this. This seemed like it would be the fastest way. It looks like it's a mess, but basically the reason it didn't work is because I now then have adjacent elements that aren't enclosed in one element, and you can't do that in React. So if I want this to work, I either need to wrap this in a div, which may or may not mess up the formatting. It's worth a shot to try, I suppose. Or I need to go out like another level here and, you know, do this. But I'm not. Anyway, I'll check the live chat, see what you all think. Oh, I saw Xana's comment about me always being polite. Okay, she said I could just do talking for like 20 minutes at the end or after each 20 minutes. Yeah, that's what the idea I think was to do like after each like big Pomodoro session to then take a few minutes to talk. Yeah, we'll see how I'll try it out and see kind of what the best mix is. I used to have the idea of just waiting until the end to do all the Q&A, but the problem is if there are too many people in the live chat, the questions that they asked at the beginning get they get deleted. There's like a limit, so I can't see them anymore. So then now I try to take a few times throughout the stream to check questions. Okay, so all right, so Xana's giving me some advice here. It says, I won't be able to please everyone because I always try to talk to everyone. So better focus on the questions related on what you do at the moment and answer the others at the end, or find a way that works for you. Yeah, you're right. That does make sense. To try, I do get sidetracked. I try, I guess, to save some of those questions for the end, but I do occasionally get sidetracked. And the reason being, like, especially if I see someone who's new and I haven't seen the chat before, even if they ask an unrelated question, I really do like to answer them before they leave the chat because I want everybody to feel welcome. Like, for those of you that I see a lot, I know you're not going to get upset if, I wait to answer your question till a little bit later because, you understand, like, I'm trying to actually get some code done as well. So anyway, that's why I get sidetracked. So I kind of have mixed feelings about that. I do think it would be easier to follow the stream for you all, and I would get more work done if I didn't, take those little side trips to talk to people. But I do think it's important because you never know. Like some people come on and say, I just started to learn how to code yesterday, and I don't want them to get discouraged. When they're when they're just starting out. It could, if they feel like they're being ignored and they just started, maybe it took a lot of courage for them to post. So anyway, maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but I would rather not be the person that is the reason why they quit coding or just have a bad day. And so but I'll probably, as more and more people watch this and chat, I probably will have to come up with a better way to make sure that I stick to things because there'll just be way too many questions. Maybe I'll have to get like a moderator or something in the chat and they'll pick out the questions or something. Okay, so John has an idea. This is back to being related to our problem at hand. John says, could you use an event listener on click to those headings and then toggle, like flip the order based on that? Okay, so I don't actually think we need to change it on click. No, I don't think we need to because it would basically be the same problem either way. We just need to have like just a slight variation here, another set. So whether or not we're just checking for even or odd, or we're adding in a click there, I think if we added the click, we would still need to know whether it's even or odd. Am I missing something? Like, am I missing some reason why we should have a click handler involved in this as well? So let me know. Dang it, I'm getting distracted again in the live chat because Sebastian just talked about the YouTube dark theme. Yeah, if you haven't tried out the dark theme on YouTube, try it out. So you all know that I am a fan of the dark theme, so I really like it. I have found that I did have some things that just weren't working right because it's the newer UI and everything, so I did switch back to the light theme because I couldn't like respond to comments on videos for some reason. So it's probably fixed now. Alright, so here's what I'm going to try. I'm just going to wrap this in a div. Hopefully this won't mess things up. I'm worried that it'll mess up our something with the the column classes and like the grid system and with materialize, but I think it's worth a try. So we'll do a div here, and then what do we need? I think I messed up somewhere in pasting. Yeah, I did. Okay, yeah, I did mess up because that should not be there. And then yeah, so this is the right spot. No, is it? No, it's not. Alright, I gotta think for a second so I can figure out how I mess these divs up. Alright, so this goes all the way up here with that. So then we need a div inside, directly inside this one. Right? Yeah. Okay, so we do need a div that's gonna be, I guess, here. Okay, so we need that div. We may not need, let me see where this one is. Okay, we do need that div. Alright, so we're good on those two. These two are necessary. Within this, we're probably going to need some sort of enclosing div. Yeah, we need a div here to close this column. I don't know how I messed this up so badly. Yeah, this has to be closed. I should have paid more attention when I was copying and pasting originally. Alright, so that's there. This is the outlink. Oh, actually I don't need it there. I need it, this div should be here. There we go. Okay, so that div needs to go there. And then this whole thing ought to be wrapped in an enclosing div. Alright. So we need, so this is the class name div. No, I don't need this. But I need one down here. This kind of thing takes the most brain power it seems like for me, than anything. It's just figuring out where I messed up. This same problem happened to me a few hours ago. You think I would have learned my lesson. At least it was easier for me to figure out the problem now since this happened before. Okay, I think all the divs are in their proper places now. Yes. Alright, awesome. Alright, so that one didn't have... Why is this doing this? So this is not working the way we want it to. I'm going to refresh. Okay, we'll see. So my dev server did quit working, so I'm not gonna worry until I get it back up and running. I actually did take time this morning and try to figure out why my dev server keeps stopping, and I couldn't figure it out. I thought, like, well, maybe I should update Node on my machine, which I did. I updated it, which is probably I probably needed updated anyway, but the update did not fix it. So I tried looking up the error online, and I found some other people that had the same error, and the solutions, it didn't work. So there were 3 issues on GitHub about that error, but for nothing with Next.js. So it's probably not a Next.js problem. 2 of the issues never got resolved. And then the 3rd issue, the resolution was just, I tried a few things in it, but a lot of it like just wasn't really applicable to my situation. So anyway, the end result was that the time I spent on it, I only succeeded in upgrading Node, but I did not succeed in solving the problem. So let me check out, I'm going to inspect this, and my DevTools is on one of my other screens right now, which I'll bring it over if I need to. VLAN order 1. Okay, so it seems like wrapping that div around everything is not going to work, which that stinks, because I just took a lot of effort to make sure all my divs matched up. Okay. Alright, so here's what I'm going to try this time. Let's take out these divs now, and I'm going to try to be very careful when I take these out so I don't mess things up again. So there's one, and there's the matching one. Okay, and I just need to do that one more time. So this is a div, so there's one, and there's the matching one. Okay, great. So I'm just gonna confirm that I'm getting the same error. Yep, same error. Okay, so we're back kind of where we started, and here's my idea for a solution right now. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to try to add in, actually I want to try this because I just want to see if it's possible. I don't feel like looking it up. I'd rather just do it. Here's what I want to try. I want to do I want to try to put a ternary inside a ternary. There's no way. There's no way this will work. But I think it's cool to try. Alright, so I am going to need a closing div here. And now I'm also going to need another closing div here. And let's see, display content. So is this even? So within this, alright, so this is our alternate, and then we go down here, and where's our closing? I'm trying to find out where our other ternary actually closed. Okay, so it's not there. It was there. But I don't think that's doing anything. Okay. Alright, let's see what errors we get. Alright, that's not what I was expecting. Let me see what I did. Oh, I have a div I don't need anymore, right? I'm gonna be really excited if this actually worked. It worked. Alright, I'm pretty sure it worked. I want to add in like one more thing just to double check, but we didn't get an error. Like, alright, so check this out. It is in fact possible to nest ternaries, and it works. It looks a bit messy. It took a lot of mental effort to keep it all straight for me, and it's probably going to be a mess if I ever want to come back in here and change it. So I don't know that I would ever recommend it or do it again, but it definitely worked. That's really cool. I thought that was fun. I don't know if you all what you all think about it, but sometimes it's fun to just do things even if you're not sure if it'll work. Alright, I'm going to check the live chat really quick because I'm sure that some of you had something to say about what I was doing. Hey, actually, that was great timing. Alright, so I'll do my 5 minutes now of the live chat. Let's see. Okay, so John said, I had asked before if I was missing something about why we should have a click handler. John said it's because what if a person skips 1 or 2 or 3 headings, will not odd and even order in those headings along with the open and close elements? Oh, I see what you're saying now. Alright, so sorry, I didn't get that until now. So basically the idea was, so yeah, if everything's open in order, let me use this one for an example. So if everything does get open, you know, in order, you get the odd even effect, right? And it's nice. But what if somebody just skips, right? So you have 2 lined up here. So I hadn't thought about that. I actually don't think the effect is bad when there's this gap and there's obvious that there's another one in there. Because I'm thinking basically what would end up happening, I think, would be more jarring than this. So that if I had these open like this and then I open this one, I guess on a shorter screen it didn't really make a difference, but if you could see them both, what you would see happening is this one would open up here and then this one would flop. This would flip-flop right here. So I think I'm okay with this happening. But that was definitely a good thought. It didn't even occur to me at all. Yeah, so I think I am going to leave it like this, but I appreciate the thought and your explaining it to me since I didn't understand right away. Oh man, I didn't even notice. This picture is a little bit old, so this isn't there. We got a new food service vendor for the university, and I don't think that this is the name of this coffee place anymore. So I'm surprised nobody noticed, because my boss is usually like, he notices every little detail like that. So he must not actually looked at this picture, because I bet he would have noticed it. I don't think it's the big deal. But I think we usually like to not make anything in the image that could give a date, so that people don't realize, like, hey, we're using like really old images or something in our sites. Anyway, let me put in one more. I'm going to put in the data for, let's see, online degree, catechetics. Yeah, I want to put in the data for one more so that I can actually see if we're getting the correct ordering happening. Because right now I can't tell. So I think the only one is degree, pre-certification, catechetics, fast track. Okay, so this is the only one that I haven't put in yet. So I'm entering this into WordPress. Oops. And I should probably, while I'm doing it, I should probably just put in this link like it's supposed to be. Okay. Sorry about this. This is boring stuff, but definitely think I need to test this before I move on. Since I was pretty sure it wasn't going to work, and so since it did work, I'm still a little skeptical, since it's appearing to work right now. Need this image. The other nice thing is that when I get all these images into WordPress, I can take them out of the React app, so they don't need to be stored on the same server. Right now they're not going to be tracked in Git anymore, so it'll make everything just a little bit smaller. Oh man, that's a huge image. I need to go in and sorry, I just lost my train of thought right in the middle. Oh, I need to go in and get better image sizes for this. This was on my list of things to do, and then I got pushed into doing some other things and never got back to doing the images. Okay, so let's refresh, and we should have everything. Nope. Alright, so I'm really glad I did that, because we are not getting the alternating like we want. Did I actually change the order of these? Yeah, I did. Okay, so this definitely has a different order. Alright, so what's going on here? Alright, I'm going to check the chat really quick to see if anyone has any ideas if I'm missing something. Oh yeah, Sebastian did say about the dev server. It is definitely just this machine because I can use it on my my laptop, and the repo works fine and the dev server is fine. So I don't know what is going on with my machine. Okay, Patrick had the idea to refactor these chunks. So I'm assuming you mean within this component, refactor a lot of this stuff that I'm repeating into stateless components. And then that way it'll be a lot easier to read. Yeah, you're right. When I first was doing this, I didn't think it would get this huge, but maybe I should just make those into components now, and yeah, that will be so much easier. John says, Jesse, you live on the edge. You only learn by being fearless. I like that. Thanks, John. Yeah, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I just get an error message, right? And then I just, hit Control Z or Command Z, and then it's all good. It's back to normal again. And I'm using Git as well, so I could just go back to a previous commit. So why not? It's not like I can. It's a local dev server. Might as well try out whatever I want. John, I saw you just said, he said it could be jarring, meaning like the back and forth that I was talking about with the order, he said, unless you animate JK. So, yeah, I always think it would be cool to animate things, and I would like to do it, but I just don't have time right now. Only because you all know I need to be done with this project by the middle of next week. So there's definitely things that I would like to do that I'm just not going to be able to do. Saad has asked a few questions. Hey, welcome to the channel. I don't think I've seen you in here before, so welcome. We're using JavaScript, and it's in particular it's React, the React framework in JavaScript. And Saad asks, can you teach me? I want to be an expert in programming languages. Please, can you teach me? Well, if you watch this, you'll get some idea of what my job is like. So it's not exactly like a teaching, tutorial based thing. I am going to release some videos on my own channel, hopefully sometime soon if I can quit having these crazy deadlines. And those will be more tutorial oriented. If you have any specific questions or want me to check out your code, you can direct message me on Twitter, and I'll try to check everything out when I get a chance. Yeah, and Saad said, what did you say, PHP? Yeah, so I did a little bit of PHP for this, a custom plugin for WordPress. So everything else has been JavaScript. Okay, so Sebastian is giving me some alternate syntax that may be able to help me out here. Oh, okay. See. Let me show you. Let me show you some of what is being pasted in the live chat. So I guess it didn't catch everything. So something like this. Alright, so I'm getting some good advice here in the chat. So let me go back in here and let's try to do. So basically, I don't need to nest my statements, or wait, let me see what's going on. Alright, so basically this syntax is saying, I just wanted to make sure I had it right before I told everybody, so sorry for the pause. Saying if it even, then do something, else don't do anything. So you're saying basically so I can basically get rid of like areas where I'm using like the question mark and the colon. I'm trying to find an example. Oh, I'm on the wrong page, that's why, sorry. Yeah, so like normally I use the question mark and then the colon here. So I wouldn't need to use those then. But I think in this case I do need the else, right? So for this, if it's even, I need to render this. If it's not even, so I need that else. I need to render this, correct? Now for these ones, I could try that out for these ones, right? Because I'm rendering nothing here, so I could get rid of so if this so like for this one I could do this props URL oh, actually I don't know if I could do it because I'm not checking for true or false here. I'm checking to see if it's blank. So this would probably only work if what I'm checking for would be true or false. If I'm checking for anything else, then I might not be able to do it. Or could I still do it, but I would just have to put the and right here. All right, so let me try this out. And then I could do this. All right, cool. Let me just see, because this should, I'm pretty sure that that part of the template is the only one that's rendering right now. Cool. Really cool. I don't know why this should actually have a link in it. I want to double check to make sure that the link is there. I guess I never put the link in. So it should have one. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of these as well inside here because I don't want to see the doubles anymore. That'll shorten this up a bit too. Okay. Okay. Let's make sure this is working. Okay. Let me bring over. It's a little awkward right now. I had my terminal underneath the window that the live chat was on, so I'm gonna bring it over here so you all can see what I'm doing on the terminal as well. Okay, so I see you gave me your email there. Just do you have a GitHub profile where you have your codes? So if you could give me the link to that, then I could check that out. Also, all the links to all my social media stuff are linked up. Some are in the description of this video. Some are linked from my YouTube account. So you can you could contact me in a variety of ways, but if you want to send me a link to your GitHub, then I can check that out. Oh, okay. Kebian says the empty string is falsy, so I don't even have to have that. So where was I at? Here. So I should be able to just do this, right? Yeah, I just thought the same thing, Patrick. So Patrick put in the live chat, you titled this refactoring. You're getting a lot of refactoring advice. Yeah, I titled this refactoring because I wasn't sure what else to call it, but I was only doing some refactoring, but I thought, I don't think I've ever titled a video refactoring, so let's do that. And now it's actually nearly entirely refactoring at this point, so it was appropriate. Oh, Patrick just had a good idea, saying that I should try cloning into a new directory on my machine to see if that will fix the server issue. I'll have to try that. I had not tried that yet, so I'll try that out. If that works, that will be awesome. All right. Let me see. All right, so did I save that? Let's see, make sure that really worked. Okay, cool. Whoa. Did you all see this? Somehow I'm getting the images now, right? How is this? Where are these coming from? They are in fact coming from WordPress. So I don't know what I did. I didn't do anything, but now all of a sudden the images are working. And you've seen, like, they never work locally. They'd always, oh well. I'm not complaining. Alright, so basically what we need to do then is figure out why it's not flipping the order like we want it to, and rendering this other thing. Maybe my nested ternary operator just does not work, and that's certainly possible. We could also, let's see, oh, actually I don't need to. Let me I'm gonna check on DevTools, and I'll bring this over to the other screen now, since it may be beneficial for everyone to see this. So I'm gonna check on DevTools and see what exactly the props are that are being passed here to make sure we're getting the right index. Okay, so this one has an index of 1. So we should be getting, okay, this was index 0. Alright, so it looks like the index, yeah, that's what we want. So we should be getting like true and false alternating. But we're not. Alright, so let's put in, oops. This. I don't know how I forgot this. I even made sure that I used the arrow function so that this would work. Okay, cool. So now we're getting what we need. So we have false, true, false, true, false. So we're getting a value. So then the problem is we can at least move down here and see. Maybe it's within our ternary here. See all this process. Okay, Arbaz, I see. It says you've been using this props URL a number of times, so I can destructure that to const URL this props. Yeah, I probably could do some destructuring. I'm not gonna do it right now, because if I turn these into, I want to see like how much I can reduce the usage of it by turning these into their own components. Okay, so let me see. I was just reading. I'm reading all the advice here in the live chat. I probably should have read it out loud. Sorry to everyone who just sat through that silence. I think someone mentioned I should be calling it like that. Oh, that was it. All right, let me figure out who said that so I can thank you properly. I can't believe I missed that. Kebian. All right, so Kebian, thank you so much. So here's the problem. I was using this is even, instead of actually calling it like that, and that was it. That was the problem. It's crazy because I even did it the right way up here. So really good catch with that one. Awesome. So now our even odd thing is working, and I need to switch the order of this, but I'm not going to do it on the stream because I'm actually going to do it in WordPress. I'm just going to change the date, the publish date of this to make it published after, and then everything will be in the right order. Alright, awesome. So this needs to be populated with a huge list, but I'm not worried about that now. I might not even do it myself. I might have the Amy, who's doing the content management, put all that data in. I should probably have her do some of this anyway, and then that way it'll be like training for whenever I'm not working on this anymore. Alright, awesome. So the courses page works. Now we should probably clean this mess up. Right, so let me get rid of this. I don't need this. But I'm gonna commit this because it works, and then we'll refactor. And if I make a big mess of everything, at least I will have a working version that's been committed that I can always go back to. Whoa, what did I have? Oh, okay, I gotta get rid of... I originally had different components for each one of those before I changed my mind and did it in just all one component, so... There we go. Also, this is, oh no, I was going to say it'll make everything look nicer and it'll be easier to work with. Where do we have? Please fix them. Oh, okay, I forgot to remove that. That's an easy fix. So I was directly using Outlink, and since I moved it into this component, I don't need it anymore. So that was the error there. So let's do that again. Great. Alright. Looks like I have an update for NPM available. Alright, cool. So while that does its thing, let's work on this. Oops. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to try to figure out what should be put into its own stateless functional component. And so we'll basically things that I'm repeating are really good candidates. Or potentially things that I might not be repeating now, but I could see needing to repeat elsewhere, somewhere else on the site, are also good candidates for this. Alright, so let's see. I guess this could be this probably could be. I'm kind of hesitant because I don't really want to do the work of doing the click and then sending the data back and all that. So we'll see. I mean, I'll do it if it really seems like I obviously should do it. Let me see how many times I use that. Twice. Actually, that is a really good candidate, I think, because potentially this could be used in other parts of the site too. Alright, let's do it. The reason I didn't want to do it is because I have done it before where I have a click that changes state in a parent component, but I've only done it like twice, and so I'm not real sure about it. So since I've already messed up so much on today's stream, I'm not in a hurry to do it again, but oh well. I guess there's only one way to really learn something and remember it, and that's to keep doing it in practice. So let's do it. I definitely need to change the song I'm listening to though, because it's really annoying. Alright. Let's see. So what are we going to call this component? I'm trying to think of a name for this component. Try to name it like based on what it does, since it's going to have a click handler. Basically, it's going to show hide, but it doesn't necessarily have to show hide. The click could do other things. It makes sense with the way we're handling this SVG that it is a show hide, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So I guess I'll just call it click heading, right? Because it's an H3 tag, it's a heading, and you click it. Yeah, because a lot of stuff, I could potentially make a lot of the stuff in here changeable based on the props. So it could be pretty versatile. Alright, so let's do that. Let's call it click heading. Oh, what happened? Oh, I should have used sudo. Wait, what's that? I remember someone gave me the advice of how to use the command to use if you've accidentally run something that you should have run in sudo, and there's a way to run it in sudo without having to type everything out again. It was like with 2 exclamation points. Awesome. What? Oh, wrong one. Use my password for my laptop and not for this machine. Alright. Cool. Thank you so much for giving me that command so quickly. It's been a really long time since I had to use it, so I didn't remember. Wait a second. Alright, cool, it worked. That was really fast. I thought it was an error for a second because it was so fast. But let's touch components, and what did we say? This is going to be click heading. Alright. So now we have this component, and I hid this earlier just to give us some more space. I'll probably just hide it again. If you use Atom, this is actually really cool. I used Atom for years before I even realized the shortcut. Command, so like the slash that shares a key with a question mark. I can't ever remember which one's forward slash and which one's backslash. That one automatically comments something for you. But if you use the other slash, the one that's just below the backspace or delete key, depending on what it says on your keyboard, that one shows and hides this little thing in the corner. Super useful. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Let's see if I have a stateless functional component to just steal from, and I don't. Sorry, this was yawning. I didn't have my normal energy drink today before the stream, so I'm a little tired and yawning. So I had no G Fuel today. Alright, so I want to try to type this component out without copying, because it might actually be faster than trying to find one, and I think I can do it. So I import React from React. So we're going to import React from React, and we're going to do const, and what do we call this? Click heading equals, oh, now I'm stuck. Now I need to look. Alright, let's see. Which one did we do this with? Did we use it with this? No, we didn't. I don't know that we have any in here, because this one was one, but then we added, I think we added state to it. Okay, I'll have to check my other project. I know I use them in my side project that I'm doing for my course right now, so I will check that. Okay, Sebastian has my back. There we go. Props. I couldn't remember what went in there. Just FYI, I've only probably built maybe 3 stateless functional components so far in my entire life, so that's why I can't remember the syntax. Okay, there's props, and then do I put the brackets? I can't remember. I don't think I need the brackets, right? No, I just need parentheses, right? Okay. Alright, so that's all I need for the beginning, and then I need to export it. I don't need this. What do I need? That's what I want. Fault. Click heading. Oh, why did I camel case that when I needed to capitalize this? I'm gonna have to rename it. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. Alright, so that should work. I'm gonna need to copy over, sorry, H3. Alright. So we have our H3. Let's figure out what props we need to pass in. So we need to make a click function here to handle the click and change the state in our parent component. And so in here, we'll put this. So this is going to be doing the same thing. Now, on click, what we want to do is let's see. What am I think I'm doing something similar in another component. So let me look on my other screen. I have my other project open so that I can just check this before I start fumbling around. Okay. Alright, so that should be good. I know we're calling it click handler here, but I want it to be, do I want this? No, I don't want it to be, because yeah, I want this to be reusable for other things other than just showing content, so I don't want to call it that. So I guess we could just call it click handler, and we'll just, so we'll have the prop name the same thing. Alright, yeah, and okay, Kevin, so I see I don't really even need this part, right? So I can get rid of that because I'm not doing anything other than just saying there's a click. I don't need to pass any data. Okay. Alright, so over here, let's pull in this component and click heading. Alright, so click heading there and click heading. Alright, so we definitely want to pass as click handler this. I'll probably need this click handler. Okay. And what else will we need? Oh, we need to pass the state down. And then we need the title. Okay. Display content. It's going to be this state display content, and then title. Oh, it'll have to be rendered. This props title rendered. Okay. So now we can do props display content and props title. All right. All right, let's check it out. All right, what did I mess up? Render. What was that? 19. I messed this up here, huh? Copied over an extra one. Maybe that was it. This props click handle is not a function. Props click handle. Will it work if I do that? Google Chrome thinks that this error message is Catalan, so it's asking, it wants me to translate it. I wonder what it would translate to. Interesting. There we go. Whoa. Alright, definitely messed something up. Let me see. Alright, I'm gonna check. I'm checking the live chat quickly. Alright, looks like there's some discussion in the live chat about Linux commands. Okay, Kebian, so yeah, so I removed the parentheses. Let's see. Click. Oh, okay. I didn't remove them here. Okay, I forgot to no wait, I did pull the title in. Did I do this right? This props title render. This props title. So why is the title not being rendered? Actually, I'm not. Hey, I see Sarah's in the live chat. Hey, Sarah. Glad you could join us. Okay, I'm going to need to probably wrap this up and do a few more things before I have to go. I have a meeting with a potential client later on for a side thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. The website is going to be like a really basic WordPress website, and I'm just not sure that I'm really interested in doing it. But the person that wants me to do the site is a friend from high school, and she was friends with my wife, and so I felt bad because she hired somebody to do this WordPress site, and she was going to pay him $250 up front and then $250 when they were done. And all they had to do, the first step of all they had to do was just redirect a domain name, which is no big deal. And then just kind of like make the theme look a little bit better. Potentially probably just find a better theme and just apply that theme instead of the old theme. So it was really basic stuff. And I think it's been months. I think it's been since December, and she hasn't heard from this person, and she already paid him half the money. So I feel bad. So I still kind of don't want to do the site. Like, I'm not excited about doing the work at all, but I do feel bad, and I don't really, I don't know. We'll see. I'll see what she wants. I'm at least going to meet with her and see what she wants for the site, and if it's something I can do really quickly, I guess I'll do it, and maybe I'll just say, like, whatever you're going to pay the other guy, just pay me the rest of it, you know, whatever's remaining, which will probably be $250, and then and I'll just finish up. He did do some work, but I found like a test WordPress site, but it wasn't great looking. Alright. So as I was going off on the little tangent there about my meeting, I was trying to look through this and try to figure out why the title is not showing up. Actually, let me look. Where's my DevTools at? I want to see what's being passed down to these components. Expanding section. Click heading. Okay, so it looks like it's not getting the it's not even showing up that there's this title prop at all. This prop's title rendered. Oh, because it's not title rendered, right? Because we're inside of a component, we're passing the data in as title, right? So let me see on our course page. Or wait, I can just see where I'm using title elsewhere, right? This prop's title. Yeah, I don't have to put rendered. That's the problem. Okay. Where am I at? Alright, this should fix the problem. Yep, there we go. Alright. Great, so our clicks still work. And now we've taken some stuff out into a component. Awesome. So now we can replace all of our H3s, which I think is just 2. It's not Not a huge improvement, but it still helps. I mean, that when it's all spread out like that, that's, you know, that's a number of lines right there. That's alright, so we're gonna save that, just check, make sure it's working. Yep. I'm gonna do a refresh just to check for sure. Okay, great. Actually, you'll see this. Why is there a gap between this and this? That's weird. I don't like that. That's weird.
Peace. Have a great weekend.
Okay, see, all these other sections are 35 pixels tall, and this one's 54 pixels tall. Why is that normal? And it's not like this. The site isn't being defined anywhere. What is going on? Because this H3. Is there this div here? Probably. The only thing I can see is it just says class there. Let's check that out. So that would be the second option here. And it would be this div, right? Well, there's no difference that I can see here in terms of in the code. It looks the same, but in the DevTools they have different heights. Oh well, I may have to wait and just figure that out at a different time, because I gotta move on here. All right, so oops, where am I at? I'm trying to save. I'm not sure what I edited, but let's save it. Click heading. Alright, so I got to switch to master and make one update before I go. Yeah, I see Sarah said CSS stuff. Yeah, it's got to be something with the CSS. I'll have to look for that. I don't want to do it right now because sometimes that CSS stuff is just pretty boring. It's just a lot of like clicking on elements and seeing what comes up in DevTools. So I don't think that'll be that fun to have on the stream. And I gotta, yeah, it's I have a meeting in less than 45 minutes, so I need to get this done. So I'll do one of the things I have to do, I can do on stream, and that'll be fine. The other thing is just me getting data out of Salesforce, like manually actually copying, pasting data, and doing math with in a Google Sheet. So that's not going to be fun to show, and has nothing to do with coding. It's just a task that I wish I could automate. I can't right now. So now let's go to the. All right, we're on the right page. It will be the courses page. Let me refresh. Yep. Okay, so definitely I'm gonna make this a link, and I probably should make, I'm not sure that people will realize that this is a link, but I'm going to just make that a link. They in the last meeting I had, that they wanted this to be a link. But I think I ought to put something, maybe right under here, have a button, like this kind of button, but under here. I'm just not sure what to call it. We threw out some ideas at the meeting on what to call it, and then never came to a decision on what we should call the button, and I don't really have time to talk to everybody and get them. I'm not even sure if anybody's still here. I mean, it's after 4 on a Friday. I'm sure a lot of people are gone. I'd hate to call the button just say go, but I don't want it to be too long. Like I could say visit Franciscan at home. I don't know if you all have any ideas. Yeah, I know. I don't know who's gonna expect to click. That's what I said. I didn't think anybody was gonna expect to click on the title because we don't really have clickable titles anywhere else on this page, and pretty much nowhere except for the blog, the news page, do we have clickable titles. So, but anyway, they wanted it to be clickable, so I'll just make it clickable. But I do need to put a button of this style up here. I think they kind of wanted like 2 buttons side by side. They still want this link to a PDF of more information. See, originally this was supposed to be the link to go to franciscanathome.com, and I only threw the PDF in there as a placeholder. But now they want to keep it, and so it was going to be really simple. I was just going to replace the link, but now I actually have to do something else. Alright, well I may as well just throw some things in here to see what they look like. So what's this? Courses. Alright, so now we're back to the old version of the courses page. Alright, so here's what we have. Here's our button. So let's put it here. Let's see what it looks like. Whoops. I put it in the wrong spot. Here we go. This is where it needs to go. Oh well. I don't really like that much. Alright, let me see. I'm going to check the live chat since see if anyone has any ideas. Kebian, in response to the Google, I mentioned I was doing some stuff in Google Sheets. So the Google Sheet automation is not a problem because that's done in just JavaScript, so it's not really a big deal. The problem is on the Salesforce side of things, is getting the data out of Salesforce and into the Google Sheet, the data that I need, because it's not just Salesforce, it's some like old plugin that I'm not really thrilled with for Salesforce. So I can't even use like the normal documentation for doing things in Salesforce. Also, the account that I've been given doesn't really let me do that much. So even if I knew how to do it, I probably don't even have access to send that data to the Google Sheet. And then I'm also getting data. I am getting data from another Google Sheet, so I'd have to pull in data from 2 different places into the sheet, which is not a big deal in terms of the Google Sheet. But anyway, so for Salesforce, that's the problem. Like it'd probably, I mean, in the long run, it would probably be good to learn how to do that. But I haven't had a great experience with that particular like plugin that we're using. I'm not really impressed with it. And the documentation for it is terrible, like, and actually non-existent for a lot of things. So it's just really hard to figure out how to do anything. I don't know if anybody else has ever worked in like higher education before, but the people who provide like software and web services for higher education, like the products are not good. Like, I always try to say positive things, so I'm going to try to say this as nicely as I can, but they're not good. I'm really, really, really disappointed in everything. Even like the service, like asking them for things, or like, can we do this, or could you do, it's just really, really bad. And even to the point where like when I've actually gone in and changed code to make it better and told them like, hey, you know, feel free to give this to your other clients because I'm sure they need to do the same thing too. And we're not talking like big deal stuff, just simple stuff like making things responsive so that they work on a phone. Things that people expect to get. And the response was like, no, we're not going to give it to anybody. Like, like, are you serious? I just gave you this free code. But and the excuse, basically the whole reason was they were trying to get people to pay more money for a different product that was going to be responsive, and so they didn't want to update their old product anymore, even though everybody was still on their old product. They had only sold their new product to one school. Anyway, sorry for the rant. It was just really frustrating. So if anybody wants an idea for an industry where you could probably break into and do a great job, it would be in services for higher education. Because if you do a halfway decent job, you will be better than most of the services that are out there right now. Alright. Really, the only thing that's stopping me right now is from finishing this is just figuring out what to call this button. And normally I wouldn't care so much, but I know if I call it something that the people in charge of this project don't like, I'm gonna get called either in like an hour when I'm at my meeting or tomorrow morning or something. They're gonna call me and say, can you change the name of this button? I really want to say begin. I think this came up with, like, basically the idea of saying something like begin is they didn't like that because they didn't want people to think that they're like immediately starting a course. I think people are like smart enough to know that they're not going to immediately start the course. Especially like if we're going to keep this as learn more. I need to get rid of this border at the top. Maybe I have that margin top. Yeah, I need to get rid of that because I don't need that margin. There we go. That looks better. Alright, let me change this. There we go. Just want to make sure. Okay, yeah. It is in fact up. So this is the site that it's being linked to, the learning management site. Let's put that in there. Okay, and let's make this title a link. So I'll grab this and oh, I did it again. I went to the wrong title. Keep scrolling up too much. It's this one that I want. I'll probably... I need to work with this color. It might automatically change the color. Yeah, it did. So let me make this white text. Alright, cool. Alright, so now this can be clicked, or this can be clicked, and I mean they're links, they should work, but I'm just gonna click. Alright, cool. And I wish they would have used the same color favicon up here. I'm not sure where they even got that one. I guess they made it. By they, I mean like the company that built this. Oh well. I kind of wish that they'd consulted me more about the design so that it could have been consistent. So like there are little things, like a lot of like border radius, shadows, things like this. Like this is not the behavior that happens on all of our other sites when we have an interaction with a button. So yeah, these are all, I don't know, I mean it's not like the information wasn't available about how to do this. There's lots of sites, lots of our sites that already use this, and we have a style guide, so oh well. I just have this fear that at some point I'm going to be asked to redesign all this to match the university style, and I've been assured by my bosses that that's not going to happen, but at one point I was not supposed to be working on this site either, and that happened. So I'm still like not convinced that it's not going to happen. And if it is going to happen, I'd rather just know it now than have a situation like this where I get pulled in at the last minute and do this. I would have liked to have had more time. Oh well, that works. Let's commit that. Okay, let's go to our servers. Alright, so that'll do its thing. An update, and then we'll update the other server. Alright, and while that's working, I'll check the live chat, and I need to keep an eye on the time to make sure I can update the data as well before I go. So I may not be able to get to everything in the live chat, so I apologize in advance for that. But I scrolled up about halfway in the chat. I don't think I missed anything from the beginning. Okay, I'm going to skip it. It looks like there's some discussion about Vim and different things and some different Linux command stuff. So I'm going to skip over a lot of that just for time and try to get to everyone's questions. Even though I'm sure there's some good information within those conversations. I'll try to read them a different time if I can. Okay, so Sebastian says, stop your dev server, go into the project folder and delete the .next folder. Check if your dev server works okay. If it doesn't, then clone the repo in a new folder. Alright, awesome. I'm going to try that. Not right now, but I'm definitely going to try that, so thank you. John Hansen asks, what happens when that course page gets really long? Will some kind of pagination or something, some other system need to be built into the code? It's possible. Right now, it's the course section is not supposed to get longer. So this is going to stay pretty fixed for now, and this will pretty much be fixed. But if that happens, then I guess I'll have to build something in at that point. It could be something like that. It could be potentially like decreasing the font size and doing 2 columns, although on a small screen that wouldn't, it would still be large. So I'll have to come up with something for that, but I don't think it's supposed to grow anytime soon. So we'll see. It's taken a lot of time to build like each one of these, because they have to do like video production and editing and everything for each one of these courses, and so there'll be a long period of time of developing it before this would ever get added. So I should have time to do that if necessary. Okay, Saad, thanks for giving me your GitHub account. So that's cool. I'll check it out, and then yeah, let me know like any specific questions that you have about your code or anything you want me to look at in particular. Send me a message on Twitter, or I guess you could put it in the comments in the video. I mean, I'm more likely to see it directly if you put it on Twitter. So that's probably the most reliable way to get in touch with me. Oh, don't worry, son. Don't worry about it. You're not bothering me. Not at all. I just saw. Um, Xana, you say you're out dressing your dog because it got colder? So is that like legit? Your dog has a sweater on now or something? Is that? Kebby, and I just saw you're talking about the. I just noticed the component is not stateless. It needs state to know if it renders the SVG rotated or not, or it may receive the orientation for the triangle in a prop. Yeah, so it does receive it in a prop. I'm sure you probably saw that afterwards, but yeah, we just passed the state from the parent component down to the child in a prop, and then the child doesn't really need to have its own state. Which, oh, I can't see it right now. But now that you're saying that, I wonder. I'm probably not going to change it now, but I was just kind of wondering, like, would it have been better? No, it wouldn't have been better. I was wondering if the that component for the heading should have had its own state, but I don't think it, because I needed to use that state to show and hide in the other parent component. So it's better, I think, for that state to live there. Especially if I put the content sections into their own component, then that needs to be able to pass that same state down to two different components. So I think it's better to just keep it in the parent and pass it as props to the children components. But I may be mistaken. If there's some good reason why I shouldn't do it like that, I would like to know. Andrew asked if anybody's worked with GraphQL. I haven't worked with GraphQL yet. I mean, I've like messed around a little bit with it, but not any serious work with it. But I'm really impressed with what I've seen so far, and I'd like to use it more. Oh, Kebian, I see you're saying for a debug tip, render the props inside a pre-tag in the stateless component. Cool, thanks for that tip. Santa said, never work for distant family or friends. Yeah, I know. I like all the clients that I still have that are recurring clients are all either family or friends, and it's like you can't. What am I gonna say? Tell them I'm not gonna do this anymore? I mean, I guess if I had somebody that I don't know. I like keep thinking maybe I should just get like subcontract the work to somebody. But even then, like it's not enough money for it to be worthwhile for anyone. Like I have a client right now that's a family friend, and last month I didn't even send them an invoice because they only owed me like $12. And I thought it's not really worth my time to even create and send an invoice for $12. So I'll have to see, but I think this month they're going to owe me less than $30. And I'm like, $30 is a little bit better, but is it really worth my time to actually like take time on a Saturday or something and, you know, go into the invoicing software and send it? I don't know. It's but it's hard to quit me. It's hard to get rid of a client that is a friend or family member. So I just never should have done it anyway. I should have said no. Leonard's asks, how often do you stream this type of project? Is this ongoing in parts? And Actually, it looks like everybody already answered that question. I'll answer it for the sake of people watching this maybe later on. I do stream Monday through Friday, usually at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Occasionally I have to change the time, and occasionally I'm not able to stream on a day, but I usually will put it on Twitter like earlier in the day to let everyone know whether there's a time change or whether I can't do it. Okay, I'm seeing all the stuff now that everyone said about the like the weird spacing between those two headings. So thanks for that. I'll take a look at that later on too, and try some of those things. Oh, okay. I see, Sarah, that you had said maybe don't make it a button, just a link. So, sorry, I didn't see that earlier. So at this point, I'm just going to keep it as a button because I'm running out of time. But maybe at some point, I'll see how it looks like just as not a button and just a link. Hey, Jeremy. So if you're watching yesterday, you may remember that Jeremy had a job interview today. And Jeremy just came in the live chat and said that he got the job. So awesome. Congratulations. Super excited for you. So yeah, awesome. If you're able to come back to a stream in the future, please let us know how the job's going. That's really cool. Yeah, Patrick, I just saw what you said about the button animation. Very 1999 and moves in a very incorrect way. Yeah, I agree. I'm not really a big fan of the button animation on... I guess I closed it out, but earlier I had the site. Yeah, this button... I'm not really sure about this button animation because the way it grays it out, usually when something's grayed out like that, that means that it's not clickable, like it's disabled. So it's a little bit odd, and it moves sideways and down, which it makes it look like you've already clicked it when it's down. So it's not, the animation doesn't really make sense for the purpose of that element. So it's a little odd. And then on top of that, this is not the... we have a certain way of doing animation on buttons that we use across the board on all our sites, and this is not that way. So I think it's better to keep it consistent. Oh, okay, Zan, I just saw that about the project. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let me. So I'm gonna meet with I'm gonna meet with the client here. It's very soon, and actually, I'll see what they want, and and then I'll see if it's worthwhile. If it seems like, maybe I'll let you all know if maybe one of you are up for doing it. And Xana, maybe I'll, depending on how the meeting goes, maybe I'll send you a message on Twitter and let you know if it's even worthwhile. But that would actually be cool. I think it's going to be a really easy project. Like, I don't even think it's going to involve much coding at all. It's just going to be like customizing a WordPress theme, most likely, and that's not really a big deal. So anyway, I have got to go now. So I need to get this data updated in about 5 minutes and then go. Luckily, my meeting is only a few minutes away by car, so I should still be able to get there on time. But Kevon, hey, how's it going? Kevon's here from Trinidad, so glad you could join us. Sorry, I'm about to end the stream, so sorry you came in right at the end, but you'll be able to watch the recording in just a few minutes. It'll be available on this channel, on the freeCodeCamp channel. So anyway, thanks everyone for all your help today, and let's see, this is Friday, right? So have a great weekend, and I'll see everyone on Tuesday. So no stream on Monday, not working on Monday. Tuesday, I'll see y'all. If anybody has any other questions, needs help with anything, Twitter is the most reliable way to get a hold of me. So you can message me on there. Otherwise, I'll see everyone on Tuesday. And again, thanks so much for watching and all your help. Have a great weekend.